I left their Costco cart here.
I'm gonna go to Costco right after.
I'm like, there's white shit next to it.
Oh, I assume someone was trying to
cut their
bake.
vitamins. Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Fish, and today we're hanging out with SAUCY Bass Talk.
Hi, Fish. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Yeah,
How
it's
are
always
you?
good to be here. Every time I come here, I just want to take a nap.
Oh, I know, right? Well, that's a good thing, and probably, well, I guess it's a good thing. I mean, in the studio, you don't want to nap too much, right?
I know. Just always never wake up from my nap. I was just telling you right now, a few minutes ago before we started rolling this, that I really enjoy driving down, your main street right here, because there's such a different vibe and ambiance over here. I really like it.
Yeah, the north side has definitely started evolving a little bit more, and it's good to see, especially growing up on the north, I didn't see much like cool shops, but now, they're starting to come back in, which is great. It's good stuff.
Have you lived here all your life?
I have not lived here all my life. I'd say a good majority of my life I have lived here. So I did live other parts of California. I did live in Vista, California, Bonsall, California, and I also spent a couple years out in El Paso, Texas.
Okay. From there to these places, now that you're here, what do you like the most? Would you ever consider going back out there to anywhere else where you used to live, or you like it here, you would like to stay here?
I love Long Beach a lot. I wouldn't want to go back to El Paso. It sucks.
Okay.
Sorry to all my people, all my family that are from El Paso. It's just not for me. Everybody has their own vibe that they want to go and live in. And El Paso is just a city that is just, it doesn't have enough for me. It doesn't have a big enough music scene for me. It didn't have a big enough art scene for me when I was there. Maybe it's changed now, but it's just hot. And when it's hot, it's hot. And when it's cold, it's cold. And the only in-between is like evening time. And shit, man, that's not too enjoyable to go out, and, enjoy the evening and stuff like that. So, no, it's just not the weather for me. Sorry.
Definitely not going back there, huh?
No.
It's funny that you mentioned the artsy part of it, because I do find your city to be very artsy, and I find you to be very artsy. This is why I did want to keep this little ambiance. If you guys could tell, we have a very light room today, very relaxed vibe today, because I feel like that's what you bring here. I have recorded with you before, and I've always said that I just really like the the vibe in this studio, and just how you could come here and generally create something.
Yeah.
So recording here, have you recorded anyone new since the last time I was here? I think I was here maybe almost 2 years ago.
Oh man, have I recorded anybody new in the last 2 years? I know the pandemic was a little crazy and weird, so I kind of like, some of my sessions did slow down, but I did start working with my friend who's a very phenomenal celloist, so I started recording some of his projects. I started recording a metal band. So I recorded a lot of like small projects, but I recorded a harp not too long ago, which was something for me. I was like, never recorded a harp in my life. So when this big massive harp comes in, I'm like, how the hell do I record that? But it's part of my friend Hector, Cello Azul. It's part of his project. So they're about to release that soon too. So I have had a lot of small projects, over the last 2 years, and a lot of en vivos. I mean, that's my jam.
Yeah.
I love recording en vivos.
Was it different for you to record live and then record just like a regular studio session?
I think the chemistry when I record, when it's a studio session and everybody's one by one, the chemistry's there. I'm not saying the chemistry's different. It is different, but I'm not saying it's less. But when it's one by one, it's cool. I like it. I enjoy it. But I really enjoy live recordings because their chemistry and their presence is right there. Everybody's in sync. Everybody's in tune with one another. Everybody is like right there in the moment, and you capture that chemistry, that connection. And I think that's why I love live recordings.
Yeah, and it's funny because I think when you record live too, as a musician, there is a lot of pressure to just kind of do it right, but at the same time, I feel like that pressure kind of pushes you to just like, okay, maybe I should just let it go and let me just do this and kind of just vibe with what I'm doing right now. You've done pretty great recordings here, and I know that your studio has been here for a while now, and it has evolved a lot since when you just started it. Yeah. What is the process for you? Walk me a little bit through how it is for you to prepare for a recording, whether it's live or a recording session.
Oh, wow. Okay, so my daily routine. I've been off of my routine for a little bit right now, but the daily routine that I would always maintain and that I disciplined myself to have was get up early as hell, right? So it's one thing. I'm not going to say I've been a morning person my whole life. I really hate mornings, so because they make me uncomfortable, that's kind of like, why I get up early, right? So it's like getting up at 5:45. Yeah, I know it's a specific time, right? But getting up at 5:45 a.m., getting up and, doing my morning meditation. And then from there, it's just preparing myself, obviously. Like I have... I drink lemon water, so that's my next thing, and then I instantly grab my walking shoes or my running shoes, and I head out the door with my dog, and we go for like at least a mile walk, jog, or run, and then come back, and then I drink some celery juice.
Celery juice?
Yeah, 2 cups of celery juice. Every day. I've been doing that for I don't know how long. I think it's been a couple of years now that I've been doing it. I lost track of time.
Really? What's the benefit of drinking that?
So... I got this from a guy named Medical Medium. Mm-hmm. So it's supposed to cleanse your whole like system out, like your liver, especially because your liver is working so much through the night trying to rid itself of toxins, right? So the lemon water kind of activates your metabolism in the morning to kind of like start flushing it out, and then when you drink the celery juice, it like really grabs onto the rest of the toxins and strips it out. So since because we're breathing so much free like radicals in the air, I hope I'm saying that right, but there's brake dust out there, right? So you're constantly breathing all the toxins that are in the air, right? So your body's constantly every day trying to get rid of those toxins. So I'm trying to do my best to try to like reset it and cleanse it out, every day. So just to get rid of the toxins.
What's the taste on that celery juice?
It fucking sucked the first time I drank it. It tasted like, I can't say it tastes like shit. I haven't eaten shit before, guys. So
you assume that if you
but I
assumed
it was very bitter. It was very like, it just...
Is it a big cup that you drink?
It's a pretty big cup. It's like maybe like this size cup.
I thought it was going to be like a shot. I was like,
no,
I'll give it
that's
a try.
like wheatgrass. And wheatgrass is very like, it's very strong. But no, celery juice, it's 2 cups. You can gradually get up to 2 cups. I started with like half a cup and then a cup and then a cup and a half and then to 2 cups, right? So I'm at 2 cups now. And yeah, the taste, you kind of tune it out.
You just learn to love it and hate it at the same time.
Yeah, it's like, for me, the taste, the benefits outweigh the taste for me, So I'm like, okay, if the benefits are better than the taste, then I'll take it. You know what I mean? Even if it tastes like shit. But that's my routine. And then working out, preparing myself. I take a cold shower after that, and then I just mentally I'm here.
Let's do this.
Yeah, because my whole thing is if I can get most of the difficult shit out of the way first thing in the morning, the rest of my day becomes more productive and more laid back because I already took a cold shower, I already worked out, I already did the shit that I did not want to do. Wake up early, like do all the, the lemon water, the celery juice, that shit. A lot of people don't want to do it, but I discipline myself to do that every single day. So when I get into the session, I am more centered, grounded, and I did my meditation, so I'm more present here. I'm just chill.
That's a really good routine. Now that you were mentioning about meditation, I started meditating a few years ago. I don't do it every day, but I've been trying to try to get into that routine of doing it every single day. For you, how long have you been meditating? What's your meditation practice like, and how long at a period of time do you meditate for? If you meditate for like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and what does it do for you to meditate?
All right, so I've been meditating for, I would say over 7 years.
It's quite a long time.
Yeah, so when I would first start meditating, I would try to meditate at least for 30 seconds. Just closing my eyes and just seeing if I could just stay still. And then because I am very hyperactive. as a kid, I've always been hyperactive. I've always got to do shit. So meditation is like, it's the art of you just still, sitting still, right? So I'm just like, okay, I haven't never done that, right? But I started doing meditation. So it started with 30 seconds and then like trying to do a minute, you know? And then meditation is the art of not having a thought, and the thought of not having a thought is actually a thought, right? So it's like, okay, how the fuck do I manage this? It's like, holy shit, right? So I'm just like, okay. And it's not the art of not having a thought, it's the art of observing your thought and not judging it, right? So when this random thought comes in, you're just supposed to observe the thought, not give it any attention, you're just an observation of the thought.
How much have you learned through all this?
Oh man,
about yourself mainly.
Oh man, fuck, how much have I learned about myself? Man, that's a good question. I've learned that I could accomplish more than, you know, that I've doubted myself more, and through this process, like of meditation, like I've learned that, you know, I'm actually really dedicated, I'm very disciplined, and that I can achieve a lot of stuff. Like I could achieve a lot of things if I just put my mind to it and stop doubting myself. So I learned to not doubt myself, you know. The self-judgment is one thing that I was judging myself a lot. Like I might have not been good enough, or this is not perfect enough. So I learned through meditation about that, and that I learned to just get rid of that whole judgment of myself.
And it's such human nature too, to just want to be your worst critic, and you're the main one who's probably like, you should have done that better, you should have done that differently, you should have done this. So to be able to tune that out is such a big gift. It's something that really, really is good. I did interrupt you a little bit at the beginning, but I do want to know, you know, you started talking about like the time that you meditate. How long have you gotten yourself to meditate now, since you've been doing it for 7 years?
Okay, so obviously I started like small, at least 5 minutes, 10 minutes. The longest I've ever meditated, I believe, is about 2.5 hours. And those 2.5 hours felt like a long time. It felt like 5 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, it felt weird.
So you were really, really in that meditative state, because if otherwise it would have felt really long. It would have felt like the 2 hours or more. Yeah. Okay, so in that time, when you realized how long you've been doing that for, and you're like, oh, that's how much I meditated for, were you like really surprised about it?
It kind of like took me, like, I was like, holy shit, like I actually meditated for 2.5 hours. Like, what? Where the fuck was I?
Did I leave this?
Because it was crazy. Because I was just, you know, I was meditating. I'm like, okay, I'm going to see how long I can meditate. Obviously, the breathing techniques come in there, right? So I started doing the breathing techniques because I would have a lot of anxiety and things like that. So I was like, how do I find my center? So breathing obviously brings you back to your center. If you take a deep breath whenever you're kind of stressed or tense, it brings you right back to center, right?
Right.
So, you know, doing all the breathing and then just getting into this headspace of just like stillness, but you're present, you know what I mean? Because you can hear the things around you. It's not like you're like, oh, I'm fucking sleeping for 2.5 hours. That's right? But you're so present, you're just in this stillness, and it felt so good, so it kind of, I wanted to just stay there.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I think the most that I've done meditating has probably been 20 minutes I've gotten really myself to. Though.
That's really good.
Yeah, and I do it at home. I don't know do you meditate in the studio? Or do you do it in your house?
I meditate, well, first I would just find a sacred space, which was, you know, my house.
Right.
Go in there, and then I have like a little altar space where I light my sage or my Palo Santo or whatever, you know, cleansing herb I want to use. And then just, you know, have my crystals there and do the whole thing and prepare. So I learned to do it in like my little sacred space.
In that space.
But you can meditate anywhere you are.
Yeah,
you know? So I learned to meditate sometimes where if I'm at the office or if I'm at a place, anywhere I am, and I just feel like I have to center myself, you can meditate like literally just for a minute.
Yeah.
You know, and then it just brings you right back to center.
Yeah, that is correct. Yeah. No, meditation is such a good practice to have.
Yes.
Have you always been in this mindset? I mean, you've been doing it 7 years now, but before that, how was it for you? Were you, you know, what were you doing that led you to come into like meditation and to learn more about your spirituality and to learn more about yourself mainly? I always say that we are the book that we should be reading. So you are your own book. You get to write it. You get to change the story. You get to create all kinds of things on your book. So in order to do that, you need to learn about yourself. So what took you there? What happened, or what made you realize, okay, I need to get there and write this book differently?
All right, so I'm gonna say, I've been meditating for 7 years, but like years before that, like I was just getting into like the self-help books, and the first book I ever read, because when taking it back a little bit further back. So I was at a point in my life where I was drinking a lot. I was pretty much an alcoholic. I'm not going to call myself an alcoholic. I was just heavily drinking. I was having too much fun. I was having way too much fucking fun.
You're just not counting your beers.
I was not counting beers. I was just like, dude, I was just in a pretty bad space. You know what I mean? So I was enjoying drinking so much that it was taking me away from my responsibilities and what I was working on, which was my studio. I wasn't taking care of my health, so I weighed about 235 pounds at that time, and my health was shit. I felt like shit. My relationships were shit. My ambition, my drive was turning to shit, but I have a lot of ambition and drive because I had already started the studio, so my ambition, my drive was starting to deteriorate, right? So at that moment in my life, I had to make a decision. And I said, one thing has to go. It's either the drinking goes, or, if I don't change that, I'm going to go. And then everything I've ever worked for in my life is going to go, right? So, I kind of prayed to God. I said, all right, I'm going to go down this path of reinventing myself, changing my life, just, keep me strong through the whole process. So I just started with that. I just said, fuck this. I went cold turkey. I got depressed. I wouldn't leave my house for about 3 months. I wouldn't return my friends' phone calls. And then one day, my good friend Jesse, I love you, man, for that. He calls me and he's like, yo, I just picked up this book. I think you should read it. So I went to Target. They actually had it at Target. And it was by Rhonda Byrne. The book is called The Power. She's the one who wrote The Secret. Right, so the law of attraction. So that kind of jump-started my whole transformation, my whole journey. So from that point forward, I got into the positive thinking, Tony Robbins, Wayne Dyer, what's the other guy? There's so many great motivational speakers. I just went into YouTube, and that took me into this other process. And then I started discovering spirituality, meditation, crystals, morning routines, like all these positive habits that you can create, and then just started with that whole process right there, and here I am today. And who I was back then is nowhere near who I am today. I was reckless. I didn't give a fuck about life. I was very temperamental, angry. I was a fucking wreck. You know what I mean? So for who I am today is a total contrast. You know what I mean? So it's been quite the journey, and the journey never stops, you guys. The transformation never stops. If you want it to stop, it can stop. But for me, I constantly want to evolve into the greatest version that I can possibly be. That's my whole goal. That's my whole thing that I'm on right now. So I'm in constant evolving and transformation.
Yeah, you could definitely tell, definitely. I've known you for a long time. I can't recall if I met you at that time where you were going through all this, but I just always have remembered you and always think of you as like someone that's just radiates really good, energy and vibe and everything. At that time when you were, drinking and being reckless and everything, were you already in music? Were you playing already? Because you play drums.
Yeah.
So I want to talk a little bit about that. Were you already doing it back then, or was this before or after?
So I started playing drums when I was about 15. Mm-hmm. So this is way after. I couldn't legally buy beer, but though I still did. Shout outs to to the local liquor store, Pops, and we used to call it Papa and Mama, but they would hook us up, in the punk days. I was a punk drummer. I started as a punk drummer. I still do punk drumming and stuff like that. But yeah, that came later, all the drinking and stuff. But I started, as a drummer. My music career was like always in drumming for bands.
Are you still drumming now? Do you actively drum, or is it something that you just do now, just kind of like a side hobby or anything like that?
I drum, for my personal songs or music that I work on. I was playing for a friend's punk band a couple years back, and I fucking loved it, man, because I missed playing on stages. I missed the whole, that whole ambience, the whole fucking scene, the energy of the punk scene. That's the music that is closest to my heart, because that's where I started.
As a drummer, do you have specific routines that you do, like when you're gonna play your drums? Do you prepare yourself in a specific way, or talk to us about that?
All right, so the first thing I actually do when I'm like, if I was gonna play drums at a show, right? Like how I prepare for that. All right, before I hit stage, well, obviously I make sure that I piss. Because I'll piss like 2 or 3 times before I actually get on stage. It's like,
to make sure.
It's not that it's my nerves, but I'm so fucking excited where I'm just like, oh fuck, I gotta piss. Oh shit. And then I just make sure that I'm not on stage and I'm like, holy shit, I gotta piss, you guys, you know what I mean? But that rarely ever happened, you know what I mean? But that I mentally prepare like that, and then I just do a lot of stretches. I kind of just jump around and I fucking just kind of like psych myself up. I'm like, all right, let's fucking do this, and that's it. And like I just do, some stretches, a little bit of drumming like on a drum pad, and just get the wrist loosened up, and just a lot of stretching. That's it.
Yeah.
That's my routine to get ready to play some drums.
Does anything upset you when you're playing? Whether if it's something that the bass player did or the singer's doing, or anything around you that when you're playing you're like, oh, I don't like when this happens, or anything like that?
No.
You just kind of completely...
I roll with it. I just roll with the punches, and that's why I love punk rock so much. You know what I mean? The
you
only
literally
thing,
roll with the punches.
I roll with the punches, because I've had it where we're playing and they're mosh pitting, and the somebody will slam into the drum set and it knocks my drum set over, and it doesn't piss me off. I just grab my drum set and I put it back, and we just don't ever stop playing. It's like just keep going with it, and I think for me, I just like the unexpected, I guess.
Yeah, I think you're perfectly fit for that ambiance though too, because I cannot imagine going through that in where I play. Some people get too close to me and I'm already like, why are you so
that's
close
a whole
to me?
different shit. Well, I know, especially right now, right? So get the fuck away from me.
It's like, please, just why are you so close to me? But I could definitely see why you're playing where you're playing at. Is there anything that you want to continue to do with drums? Are there any projects that you want to do, or anything that you're thinking about?
I mean, with drums, I would always want to start a new band, and possibly play drums. But right now, I think I kind of am pursuing more of a music project where I'm going to be more on the guitar again, So I have been playing in rock en español bands as a guitarist, and then I would switch back to drums, and then I would do that for a while. But I think the next music project, it would be me playing more guitar, but I still love playing drums, you know what I mean? Like, especially if it's
would
fun.
you call that like your first love, the drums, or?
Yeah, I started off as actually on guitar.
Okay.
I tried to figure out guitar and instantly just gravitated to drums.
Now that you're gonna be working on guitar, when did you start playing guitar?
I started playing guitar at the same time I started playing drums. So I would just switch,
just between
the two, and then I just picked up guitar and then drums. Yeah. That was it.
Do you create your own music? Do you create your own songs with like guitar?
Yes. I do it, and it's not nowhere near punk. It's more dark wave.
Really?
I'll show you some stuff.
Yeah,
but it's more
definitely
it's more dark wave.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like that. I would say like 90s dark wave. It's just more of that.
Okay,
I like that
I'm
music.
excited to hear that. Do you feel like that drums gets a different part of you as a person versus guitar?
Oh yes.
Can you explain the difference between each of them?
Okay, drums, obviously, that's my outlet for aggression. It allows me just to be very aggressive with it, and it takes it. Like, I just love that, on the drums, but it also just, it expresses a lot of my creativity there, so it's like, I'm doing like, all these drum fills and cymbal hits, so it's like, it allows me to express certain creative parts of me, but the guitar allows me to sing. I don't sing, you guys, right? So the guitar allows me to kind of sing with it, you know what I mean? Because I'm able to, like, bend the notes, and I'm doing other things, and I get to put some guitar effects in there. So it allows a different side of my creativity to come out as opposed to drums. Drums is just, for me, has been more like hit, play good, hit fast, and just fucking go all out, balls out. Like, that's drums for me. And the guitar is a little bit different. It's more like melodic. It lets me, like, like make it sing to me. So that's the difference from drums to guitar.
To guitar. Or if there's any guitar players that you look up to, who would it be? The one that you say, oh, I really like how this guitarist plays. I want to mimic a lot of what they do. Or do you just rely on yourself? Or there's other infusions that you kind of got yourself from?
Wow, there's so many like guitar influences that I have, but Markovic from Caifanes, OG Caifanes, was such an amazing fucking guitarist, because he would, like, think outside the box so much on his guitar playing, so, like, I really admire his fucking guitar work. But then I also really admire Green Day, Billy Joe Armstrong, because the simplicity, it's 3 fucking chords, and how you can use three fucking power chords, and you can make a song like this. It sounds so fucking in depth, it's like, holy shit, that was only 3 chords. So there's a big contrast from Markovic, who is, like, all over the fucking guitar, all these fucking crazy arpeggios and fucking just crazy shit, you know what I mean? He's doing this, like, really fucking intricate guitar work, and then I'm just like, wow, Billy Joe Armstrong just really fucking just did this with 3 chords.
Yeah, so those are mainly, like, your infusions and stuff like that. What do you think of Carlos Santana?
He's a badass.
Have you seen him in concert?
I actually... Did I go to that show? I don't think I did. Wait, I think I saw him at the Hollywood Bowl.
Was this a long time ago?
This was a very long time ago.
I had the chance to see him last year.
No way.
I want to say it was in August, in Vegas.
Yeah.
And I've never seen him, but he's a big, like, how do I explain it? Between me, my brother, and my cousin, which are the ones that went, plus our, partners, we have, like, this whole thing from growing up. We always used to talk about Carlos Santana when we were little kids. We always used to talk about him. And so finally we got a chance to go to one of his concerts in Vegas. And so we went. And it was the craziest experience. If you get a chance, you should go. Because everyone that was there with us had, like, an experience of their own. Like, everyone was just, like,
tripping on
in
some
a
shit.
whole different... in a whole different mindset. Everyone enjoyed the concert in a different way, and it was really interesting to hear what everyone was, like, thinking and hearing, and I was like, I was hooked on this and all these things. It was amazing. But if you get a chance, you should try to go see him.
No, he's a legend, man. I think he did so much for music, and he's still doing it, you know what I mean? And he's such a humble dude. Like, from a lot of the interviews that I see, he's just, like, real chill, and I liked how he shared the experience of that. I think they took acid on accident, and he was on stage, and he explains that in an interview.
Can you mention that?
Yeah, he talked about it. I don't know if you've seen that interview, but it was Santana talking about it. He's like, dude, he's like, I was on there, and everybody's like, you played so fucking amazing. He's like, yeah, but my guitar felt like it was a snake, and he was trying to, like...
I have to watch you.
Watch that interview, but it's fucking cool. That's why I was just like, Santana, you're a real one.
No, he's amazing.
You're fucking cool. Man.
I've seen some interviews where he talks about like breaking your ego and how
Yeah.
you should just, you're here for a specific reason, just trying to exist. You have to just do what you love and just do it and generally just love it. And
Yeah,
it really
100%.
changes the perspective on a lot of things in the music industry. And I know you're around it a
Yeah.
lot. There's this whole thing called musician ego. And
Oh.
to break that ego
Yeah.
is one of the hardest things, because you're constantly like, well, people should like me, people should support me, people should do this for me, and all these things. You, as a recording engineer, do you come across different egos? How do you work with that? How do you like to observe and kind of sit back, or do you kind of go with the flow? How does it work for you when you're dealing with other people who have a really big ego about what they are doing?
Well, I mean, I'm the recording engineer, and it depends if they hired me just to track them and just do that. Then I just do that, and I just observe how they work with one another. I've seen bands form here, and I've seen bands break up here. So, it's like I see a lot of that. And I don't call it just music ego. They're just fucking egotistical people in general. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm the leader of the group. No, I am. No, this is my shit. And blah, blah. And I'm just sitting there. I'm just like, okay, this is going to be a little difficult session. You know what I mean? But, my standpoint on it is just like, if it's good to have, I'm not going to call it ego, but it's good when you're a little stubborn on certain parts of the song that you guys might be working on, or how the song should be, because it just shows that you have vision. At least you're not just like, oh, do this part and that's gonna sound good, okay, let me do it. You're not a puppet in a band. Every band member should have a say so, and if you're stubborn about a certain part of the song that it should feel a certain way, then there should be some sort of agreement of the band to be like, hey, you know what, well, maybe they're right, and maybe we don't see it exactly the way they're seeing it, but it doesn't mean that it's wrong. So respect of creativity, I think, is very important in a band. You know what I mean? True. So it's like, just because you don't like it doesn't mean that it's shit, and that you guys should just be like, no, that sucks, or it doesn't sound good. You know what I mean? Because that automatically is going to make your band member feel like, well, my input, maybe I should just shut the fuck up, and I won't share my ideas anymore.
Yeah, and it could be ideas that are really good, but they just didn't have the chance to grow and become something.
Yeah, and also too, because sometimes the other band members feel like, wow, that idea is so good that it makes my idea, like, they just don't see it, you know what I mean? They're limited, and the thing is, some band members aren't limited, and they're free thinkers, you know what I mean? So sometimes the limitations of somebody else, it just it affects your whole creative process right there. Definitely. You know what I mean? It's like, that's why I always say, it's like, no, it's not their insecurities become limits on the band.
Oh yes.
Right. Yes. So there's a lot of that.
And imagine how much it's an insecurity could limit a person as it is.
Yeah.
And then you're bringing that into a band, then obviously, it definitely just makes it to where you can't really flow with the creativity or have any thoughts of your own, or if you're insecure, you don't want to say anything and things like that. I know that I've experienced it here and there and stuff like that. And did you come across ever any insecurities while you were playing? Did you ever think like, oh, I'm not good enough, I don't like this, I can't do this, or anything like that?
I'm a fucking perfectionist. It's a fucking flaw. I don't know if it's a flaw or if it's a fucking good thing, but I always thought like, I would listen to my drumming and I never was happy with it. I was always like, fuck, I could have done better. I should have done better. Shoulda, should all over yourself. Yeah. But I didn't, you know what I mean? But I did the best. I learned to just congratulate myself and just be like, look, you did the best you could at that moment, because that was where your experience was. You know what I mean? So I would always critique my work. Even to this day, I critique my work, but at the same time, it's like, there has to be a point in your life where you're like, this is good. I'm proud of this.
Look
be
how far
proud.
You've come.
Yeah, be proud of your work, because if you're never proud of your work and you never celebrate those points where you're evolving from, then you're never going to be satisfied in life. And that shit just spills over into all other parts of your life too. So
Yeah, that is correct.
learn to be proud of yourself, for where you are and what you've done. That was the best you could do at that moment of your life.
Yeah,
So
that's all.
like,
that's what you knew back then.
yeah. That's what my knowledge was. That's what my experience of drumming was. So it's like but I still do that. Sometimes I'm like, man, that fucking sucked. and sometimes it really does suck. But other people around you be like, dude, that was fucking great. That's amazing. But because we have such high expectations to ourselves, and we set a standard so high for ourselves that we constantly are like, fuck, it wasn't there, so it wasn't there, and because it doesn't hit this fucking marker, we're just like, it's not good enough. You know what I mean? So
that is true. No, I know exactly what you mean. I go through it all the time with myself. I mean, I listen to a lot of the things. There's actually recordings that I did hear and that I listened to sometimes, and I'm like, what were you doing? Like, why would you do that? But when I think about it now, that's what I knew then. Yeah. That's the style that I was doing back then.
Yeah.
So now it's different. I play with a different band. The feeling is different. I wanted to give a different touch to the bass, a different tone and sound, have a different bass. Yeah. And so now I still critique my work just the same, but there are instances where I say, you know what? You did good.
Yeah.
You did really good.
Yeah, fuck it. Like do that. To be proud of yourself, you know what I mean? And you should probably do that more often than not, you know what I mean? It's like, hey, you did good. And you should do that after every practice, after everything that you do. You did good. Yeah. Pat yourself on the back. Guys, ain't nobody else gonna fucking pat you guys on the back. I literally pat myself on the back after I work out and I accomplish my morning routines, whatever it is. Good job, fish. Good job. I'm fucking proud of you. And I say it out loud. I don't just weenie say where I'm like, I'm proud of you, man. It's like, nah, pat yourself on the fucking back and be like, yo, I'm fucking proud of you. Whatever your name is, for fucking accomplishing what you said you were going to do.
Yeah, that is very true.
Be proud of yourself, everybody. Fucking pat yourself on the back. Ain't nobody else going to applaud you the way you need to applaud yourself. Because you need to feel it for you. More than any like you can have 100 people fucking cheer for you, and if you don't feel that cheer, I think that is like the greatest failure of life. You know what I mean? So it's like you are your biggest fucking cheerleader. You are your biggest encourager. You are your biggest motivator. Ain't nobody coming to fucking save you except yourself.
This is true.
Everybody wants the best for you, but you gotta want the best for yourself. Mm-hmm. And you gotta be willing to fucking put yourself out there to get it. You know what I mean? True. So that's just facts.
Yeah, that is correct.
That's what I've learned. Ain't nobody gonna fucking teach.
No one's gonna rescue you, first of all.
I have great people around me who, are my recording gurus and, my mentors. But none of them are gonna do the work for me.
That is true.
If I ever want to be anything near what they are, I have to put in all the work and effort. Even though that they're trying to give me the best advice and the shortcuts and everything else, that doesn't mean that you're going to have to work less. You're going to have to just work as hard, if not harder, than them. You know what I mean? Because you're trying to make it there. So it's like, you got to throw all the effort in everything and be proud of yourselves. There's mixes that I listen to and I'm just like, fuck, they sound like shit, but at the same time, I'm proud of myself for even attempting to doing it.
Yeah, because you could have just not done it, and then you would have never learned. Because you need to fail to learn.
Fuck, dude.
And that was difficult for me to understand because I hated to fail. I didn't like failing. I also am a bit of a perfectionist too, and I could get very irrational with it. And I used to think, I can't fail. Like, why am I messing up? Why am I doing this? And then I had to understand that only through failure was that I was able to accomplish the things that I needed to, because now I learned to do them the right way and be okay with it. Talking about people that are around you, and how important too is it for you to have specific people around you?
A lot of people just fell off, and it's okay if they went off to live their 9-to-5 life and raise a family, have kids. There's nothing wrong with that, you know what I mean? But yes, a great majority of my friends just fizzled out, you know what I mean? And they just, started doing their whole thing, where that's cool, you know what I mean? But I started surrounding myself with people who wanted to make something out of music, you know what I mean? Who wanted to make a career out of it, who are passionate about it. But in general, I surround myself with people who are passionate just about like living life and wanting to do something with their life. Leaving a legacy here. You know what I mean? So I started really surrounding myself with a bunch of what you're gonna call successful people who want to fucking win. You know what I mean? And they're just driven. Like that to me is who I want to surround myself with, because it's like the Mexican saying, and I hope I say it right, is like, dime quién son tus amigos y te diré quién eres, right? So it's like,
we hear
dude,
it all. Yeah, growing up, we hear it from
and
our
I'm
parents
just like, I
all the
was
time.
like, what? I don't want to fucking hear that. Like, you're fucking crazy. Like,
Of
that
course I
doesn't
wanna
fucking
hang out with
mean.
these
And then when I was a punk rocker, it was way fucking worse, because they're like, oh god, you're hanging out with all these fucking people. But it's like, no, I've learned that the proximity effect. When you hang around successful people, they don't hang out with people who don't have ambition and don't want to do shit in their lives. You know what I mean? Successful people only hang out with other successful people who want to win at life, who want to be happy at life, who want to have more joy, more success, more adventure. Like, they all hang out together. So if you want to change your life, you're going to have to change your fucking friends, because I had a lot of friends when I was fucking drinking and fucking partying, and they were my friends because I was picking up the fucking tab. Right. So surround yourself with people who actually want you to win. You know what I mean? When you're in a tough situation, they're not gonna be like, yo, bro, come on, let's go out and fucking party and get smashed and fucking get all these fucking girls and just fucking forget about your fucking troubles and all this crazy shit. It's like, nah, you need the real people who are gonna sit there and be like, yo, man, let's see what's up, man. Or, yeah, change the environment. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna take you out to some other fucking city this weekend, but let's go see what's up and how can I help you, in your life right now and things like that. Not damage you. You don't. There's a lot of people out there who want to damage you, but yeah, I just hang out with cool motherfuckers who want to have fun and are joyful and happy and all that shit. I don't like pessimistic fucking serious people, man. Like, nah. And it's nothing wrong, because I've been there myself. I used to be like that. Yeah. Very narrow-minded and closed-minded and didn't want to do shit, and no was my favorite fucking answer to everything. So hang out with some people that say yes. You know what I mean? And eventually you start saying yes, and it changes your life.
You definitely do see the difference of changing the people that are around you.
Yeah.
There's this saying, it kind of says something like, if I'm the, it only goes this way just because we're like in the whole music thing, but it says, if I'm the most talented person in that room, then I'm in the wrong room.
Yeah.
So it almost applies to everything, not just talent, but like, if I'm, the most willing to do best for myself in that room, then I'm in the wrong room, right? I'm with the wrong people. So I do agree with you on that too, because I've noticed myself how many people have just fallen off like flies ever since I started doing, more, like, I've gotten more into music and more into YouTube and everything, where I decided to actually be serious about this and start to create a network and everything. I noticed that, like, it really is just me and one other person in my team now. Right now, it's good. Literally just me and one other person, and that person's really, really close to me. And because of him, I've been able to, do all kinds of things. But I noticed that I had to distance myself from a lot of people that, like you said, kept 100%. Saying no versus saying yes. Yeah. And I definitely agree with you. I've learned so 100%. Much from you today. I really, really enjoy this conversation. You are someone that definitely has so much knowledge and so much to give to others. And it only is possible, I think, because you've learned to fill your own cup. And so you're able to distribute it without being empty,
Yeah, I 100%. Thank you for that,
before we end this today, I want to know, is there anything else that you want to add? Did you want to give advice to people out there who want to pursue their dreams or who want to change their lifestyle? What can you tell us before we go?
Man, the only advice I can really give, well, what I learned is, like, you got to get really clear on what you want out of life. You know what I mean? What kind of life do you want to live? What does it feel like, taste like, look like? What kind of friends are going to be part of that life? Like, where are you going to live? You got to get really focused, like laser focused on what type of life you want to live, experience, and create. And once you write all that down, make a plan, take some action steps. Like, don't just leave it there. Don't just write all this shit down and put it with your other fucking notes and books that are collecting fucking dust in your room, like all the other shit that you said you were gonna start, and it's there with next to your fucking gym equipment and next to the fucking guitar that said that you said that you were gonna learn how to play and all that shit, and you just fucking start. Like, literally, for me, I just woke up one day and I said, shut the fuck up to my fearful version of myself that was there at that moment. You know what I mean? Like, I said, I'm gonna fucking do these things because I want to fucking kill you. You know what I mean? Like, I want to kill that version of myself. And it wasn't physically, it was more everything that you're gonna really endure in life. I know there's a lot of physical, but most of it's gonna be mental. You know what I mean? So you mentally toughen yourself for everything. That's why I do cold showers. That's why I do fucking workouts. The shit, everything you don't want to fucking do in life is probably the shit that's gonna free you, right?
Right.
So once you start doing all that, you're gonna end up gaining momentum. Keep that momentum. Get rid of the fucking things that are weighing you down in life. Whether it's your friends, whether it's your fucking family members. Just because you have family members or they're your family members doesn't give them the permission to keep fucking hurting you. I don't give a fuck who they are. Get rid of them out of your life, okay? Get rid of everything. That toxic boyfriend, girlfriend, friendship, partnership, whatever the fuck it is in your life, get rid of everything that's weighing you down, and then just fucking start taking all those small action steps to creating the life that you want. No matter how hard it gets, everybody do not fucking give up. If I can make something out of my life, you can too, and I haven't even fucking started. That's the energy that I give myself. That's the thought that I give to myself, is like, motherfucker, you haven't even started. You're young. I don't care if you're listening to this right now, you're 15, 20, 30. If you're fucking 20 thinking that, oh, it's already fucking late for me, fuck no, dude. I think you really start gaining momentum like later in life, because going through things in life really prepares you for the life that you wanted. You're gonna go through shit, you guys. Don't give up. You're gonna get heartbroken. Don't fucking stop loving. Don't let it bitter you. You lost a loved one. That shit fucking hurts, you guys. It really does, and you probably will never heal from it in your life. The only thing that you can do is change the way you're looking at it and make something out of your life. Your parents, your grandparents, your great grandparents, your great great ancestors didn't come all this way to birth you and for you to not do shit. If you're not gonna at least do it for yourself, do it for all of your ancestors that are behind you. They're all rooting for you. They're all there for you. Fucking make something out of your life. You know what I mean? Don't just fucking come to this earth and do shit. And it's cool, like I said, but if you're really wanting to do something and leave a big footprint behind, it's not gonna be living a mediocre fucking life. It's not gonna happen, you guys. So that's my best advice that I can give you guys, is shut the fuck up and do the work and be proud of yourself. Congratulate yourself every fucking step that you do. Celebrate your success, no matter how small they are, no matter how big they are. You have to celebrate you, because nobody's gonna celebrate you the way you gotta celebrate you. Nobody's gonna pat you on the back except yourself. On those days where it's fucking hard, you gotta get up, you gotta pat yourself on the back, dust yourself off, and just learn from every fucking experience, from every setback, and just keep pushing yourself forward. And just push forward every fucking day, no matter how hard it gets. Fucking find that small joy in life, and just keep fucking pursuing that. Pursue happiness more than money. Money helps, but happiness is worth a lot more. That's my advice. That's all I got for you guys.
Thank you for that advice. It's really very, very valuable to all of us, and to me personally. Thank you so much for always extending your friendship to me. Thank you for always working in whatever projects I have going on. Thank you for being part of you know, my old music career and now my new one. So thank you very much, and I look forward to many other stuff. Hopefully we could get to work a little bit more closer together. I think it'd be great. But
I'm super down.
Thank you so much for being here in your home.
Yeah, this is my home. This is my home away from home, right?
Your home away from home. Thank you for existing. Thank you for your knowledge. And that's it. We'll see you next time.
Hey, you guys, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Saucy Bass Talk, and that's on YouTube, correct?
That's on YouTube. Yeah.
And follow her. Are you on Instagram?
I just opened the Saucy Bass Talk Instagram. I'm gonna link all the stuff below. I'm gonna link your stuff too. If you guys need any, you know, sound recorded, any great experience, you have to come here. I'll link everything down below. And that's it. That's it for today.
All right, you guys.
Bye.